Well, here we are, GoPro strapped to the chest, and you got a little camcorder going down there, and we're gonna change the oil. And my dealer, screw my dealer. I'm done with him. As you can see, or maybe not see, we've got 4.6 hours on the clock. I started this the other day and it smoked the entire garage out, and it was pretty bad. It smoked for 5 minutes straight, heavy smoke. I let the engine warm up properly, and then I turned it back off and turned it back on, and it still smoked a little bit, but it finally stopped. But there was still a trace of smoke at an idle, so very concerned. And it only had 2.8 hours on the clock. I've mowed with it twice. No telling what oil the dealer put in. Of course, I had to top it off with some 2050. I have no idea what they ran. So I texted the dealer, I've called the dealer, and no response. So I'm not playing their game. I'm sick of the dealer, and quite frankly, I'm sick of this Skag. But we're gonna change the oil. We're gonna put 2050 in there. I have no idea what the hell's in there right now. And we're gonna change the filter. Interestingly enough, when this thing came from the dealer, of course, you watch my videos, I've had all sorts of problems with Make Ready. This is my third Skag now that's had issues. There was hardly any oil in the engine. It was on the line that said add. So I added to it, I brought it up halfway, and that's when I had some issues with the smoke. Not the first time, but the second mow, or the second time. It takes a little over an hour to mow just under 2 acres here. But anyways, no, I didn't overfill it. I was quite mindful. I'm familiar with these Kawasaki engines and how to check the oil properly. But I did notice that after 1 hour, just over an hour of use, that it drank almost 1/8 of a quart of oil, maybe a little more than that. So back onto to the line it went where it says add. So I added more oil, and I just checked it again. I haven't mowed with it, but I checked it again to see if it's magically disappearing overnight, going past the valve seals or something, and that's what caused the smoke. And the oil's still spot on the level where I left it. Started it up a little while ago. Little puff of smoke, that's normal with a little bit of choke, and you know, black smoke, and it went away. So I don't feel comfortable with the dealer. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him at this point. So we're just going to do an oil change here. We're going to put 2050 Dino oil in it since it's still in a break-in period. I'm going to put an OEM Kawasaki filter on here. I'm not going to break the filter. I did do another video where I did a filter teardown after like 2 hours or something on my previous Skag Liberty Z 48-inch. This is a 52-inch, and I'm not going to do a filter teardown, but we're going to just change the oil real quick and maybe post some follow-up. Definitely post some follow-up videos. Sadly, I've been posting a lot of crappy videos lately because that's what's happening. My experience with this mower, the communication issue with the dealer, another Skag coming from the dealer that's got several make-ready issues. Just check out my previous videos. So this will be a quick oil change, and just something to document it to show you how I change my oil. And again, I've got other oil change videos, so you can check them out. But I just want this machine to be documented since it has such a low hours on it, that I just want to show you guys how I change my oil, and hopefully there'll be no more problems. I'm hoping that they put friggin' 0W20 in there or something. Well, not really, because that might be a little too thin. Hopefully there's not a head gasket leak, but I think it would have smoked again. But you never know. But at least this way, I know what the hell I got in there, right? So let's get started. So sorry for the squeaky chair here. 10mm wrench, and I'm noticing that this thing is already chewed up a little bit. I don't know how many times I'm going to knock over this GoPro camera here. Doesn't take much, just to break it loose, and then open it up with your fingers here. Move the light so we can see here. And where's the drain valve? Okay, make sure we're all set up, and let's open her up here. We've got some flow. It's not flowing much at all, surprisingly. But that's all she wants to do, then we'll just have to hurry up and wait. Let's open up a little more. This thing's pretty loose. There we go. A little more flow now. Oil looks clean, as it should be, right? I mean, I've had to add twice now. This thing has consumed over 1/4 of a quart in 2.8 hours? I lost count. We got 4 something on it now. But yeah, not sitting well with me. Yeah, we're leaking a little bit out the screw. Not a big deal. You remember my old trick from the previous Cub Cadet videos where I actually removed the dipstick and I wiped this down and I put my mouth on there and I gently blew air in there to blow all the oil out? It works, man. You'll get an extra couple ounces out if you really want to get it out. It's one way to do it. It's still dribbling out there. Dribbling down my hydros too. Leaked out here. So this is kind of a cheesy, I mean, it's plastic. I don't like that for one, but it's better than nothing. But you know, what a messy pain in the butt. You can really open this thing up. I guess I could take this thing off completely, clean the threads, maybe put some sort of I don't know, like pipe dope in there or something that won't seize up, but it'll keep it from, maybe there's room for an O-ring or something. There's got to be a better way to do this. All right, we're almost done now. So we're going to let that drain, come back in a couple minutes. Nothing. There we go, it's hitting the plate and coming down. Yeah, right between the tube and the line, the wire for the clutch. Let's get a little more flow. You know, it just takes a little time if you're careful. Some guys spin the filter off, whip it off, spread oil all over the place. They don't care. It gets covered with grass anyways, right? And just do it nice and slow and you get a controlled flow and less of a mess to clean up. At least for me. I mean, that's nice clean oil, as it should be, right? I mean, I've changed it, or I've added to it, what, twice now. So now the tricky part, pulling the filter off, the threads. Oh yeah, that one made a little mess. Not bad though. Zoom in a little better. I know the camera angle sucks here. GoPro died. So the gasket just made contact, and I'm going to use this marking on the filter as my dial indicator. So 3/4 of a turn. So if it made contact around 3, we're going to twist it till it gets to noon. And that's that. All right, Amazon 2050 for the win. So 4, 3. We're going to put 2 quarts in there. It calls for 1.9 without a filter change, 2.2 quarts with a filter change. So we did change the filter, although there is always a little residual oil in there. So we're going to start at 2 quarts. Normally 2 quarts is right on the money anyhow. So we're going to do, for shits and giggles, let's do 1.5 quarts and show you guys where it stops on the dipstick. Just sits there, remember? Kawasaki, your stupid oil dipstick. Not even registering. Let's just bring it up to 2. 3 quarts on the money. Started at 5, so there's 2 quarts in there exactly, and the filter's pre-filled. All right, clean dipstick. Survey says. See if I can show that to you without getting oil down there. Let me let it drop off here a little bit. Okay. So that is right up to the bottom of the fold mark. So there's 4 dots, right? There's 4 dots. Bottom line is says add, the top one says full. It's right up to the bottom of that full line, covering all 4 dots. So now keep in mind the oil filter is not full, and the oil has not worked itself through the components in the system. So when it does that, it'll drop a little bit, but then keep in mind there's expansion as well. So this is 2 quarts. This is, to me, right on the money. This is where it should be. It's not over full. It's up to the full line. But again, once it works through the system, completely fills up the filter, it should drop a little bit. So I'm comfortable with this. Now, we're going to start it up. We're going to let it run 3 minutes. We're going to check for leaks, and we're going to recheck the oil. And I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't move. So I'll be back after I do all that. Drop the dipstick in, wait a second, pull it out, let it drip off, right below that full line. So that's with 2 quarts, put half in the filter. So I told you it needs time to settle down. It's warm enough. The rocker covers, you can't touch them. You'll singe your skin. And the oil filter, yeah, it's hot too. You can't touch it for more than a second. So we're up to temperature here. And we're just below, I don't know if that's, you guys can even see that. I'm trying to turn it, so hopefully you get a reflection off of it. But that's just below, I think I wiped some of it. Let's do it one more time, just to satisfy all you guys out there. Letting it drip. Right on the full line. One last time. Try not to make a mess here. Right on that 4th dot. That one's full. Depends on which side of the stick you look at. Always see where the level comes up. You know, adding oil and oil dripping down like that, it's coating the inside, so every time you put the stick in and pull it back out, you might get a different reading. So you got to take a bunch of readings. Go with your gut feeling. But as long as you go with what the manual says, in this instance, 2 quarts in there, I think we're good. One last time. No whammies. Right underneath that full line. So it's smearing onto that 4th dot. That one that's got the 4th dot, I just wiped it, but it was right below the full line. So this shouldn't have any issues. So to me, this is a good good oil change here. Now let's cross our fingers and hope that it doesn't smoke when we start it again, and hopefully it doesn't smoke the next time we mow. So let's just start it one more time. We'll end this video.
That's a wrap. We'll see you next time.